What I showed you last was a SYN scan or a half open scan. All of that does is it sends a SYN message, waits for a SYN-ACK or a reset back, and determines whether a port is open. Sometimes that's considered impolite because you're maybe leaving systems with half open connections. Theoretically, the reset should take care of that, but still, it's better to do the full connect and then drop it, because what you could do is you could trigger an alert with respect to port scanning by sending all of these resets because somebody may notice. So there may be reasons why you want to do a full connect scan. We can do that using minus lowercase s, capital T, and then 192.168.86.1 again, because I know that host is up and will respond with ports that are open. So again, I didn't specify a port range. I'm going to be okay with the roughly 1,000 ports that Nmap uses for default. And again, we get the same ports back, not surprising. In essence, we're doing the same thing that we did before. We're just adding a different message in than we were. So rather than the reset, we're sending an ACK back to the SYN-ACK. And then later on, we're sending a reset saying, no, never mind, I didn't really mean to do that connection. That's one other way of doing a TCP scan. There are a number of others as well. You could do a fin scan. Fin is the flag that gets set when connections are torn down. And again, there is specific defined behavior for an open port when it receives a fin message where there isn't an open connection. So here is where we get the open filtered, because we got a response suggesting that it's probably open, but the response may also indicate that it's filtered just because the response isn't definitive in terms of how TCP has defined that response. You could get the same response if the port was filtered as well. We think it's open, but Nmap is saying it could also be filtered because that response that we got could go either way. That's another type of TCP scan. Another one is the Xmas scan. So that lights up three flags in the TCP packet. And again, because of the response that we've got, we're not really sure whether it's open or whether it's filtered because these are odd packets. When we send a Christmas tree packet or an Xmas packet, what we are setting is the fin, urge, and push. Urge says this is an urgent message, get it up to the application immediately. Push says don't bother buffering it all, just send it up. And then the fin says we're actually closing the connection. So this is something that you wouldn't typically see. And certainly, this is not something you would see if you don't have an open connection. So again, we're getting responses that suggest it's probably open, but we may also get the same response if there's a firewall in the way. So Nmap is telling us that it could be filtered, but it could also be open. Those are some different TCP scans that you could use. As you can see, they all give us basically the same results. We've got the same three ports that are indicating open. It's just that the oddball scans, the unusual scans, are telling us, well, it could be filtered as well. You kind of have to know what it is you're doing and whether you expect the result to be open or whether you think that there's a firewall. So that may take additional probing to figure out what's actually going on there if you happen to be using these scans where you're sending unexpected messages through to the end system.